minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Never really right time, obtuse. Getting in the fight, I might lose. Never really have to pout nice boobs. Hoping not to walk 9 nights soon. Picking up the mic to spike my views. Keep it kinda light, oh like haikus. I'ma take the night to write my news. What's the height I wanna strike my noose? You were never really gonna understand this, why I gotta write a symphony. I'm just making use of what I know, so I'm guessing I prefer to do it rhythmically. But I never really seem to get it right. The imperfectionist is just a kid in me. Yeah, I struggle as an artist, I'm the face of definition. Woo, the epitome. And I've always had a problem hating on myself, stacking up my wealth to put it on a shelf and throw it down a well. And maybe I rebel to feed it to the devil, never would repel people that I seek to meet in evil hells. Reaching like a leash, I seek it to excel. A cheeky freak that isn't Greek up in the shell, but my mistake is just unique enough to sell. I'm a lyricist, not a rapper, broken so and not a musician. That's a favor, any glory truly doesn't matter. Never really wanna get a hit a chatter. Wanna make you smile, maybe breathe some out to slow it down. Surprise you when I hit it faster. Talking to me more, only make me matter.
Welcome to Wolf Talk Podcast, and I am Wolf, and we're here with the Phoenix and the Raven. How are you guys doing today?
How's it going?
Good. So, how did you come up with the name the Phoenix and the Raven?
So actually, it was pretty tough. So when we first started as a band, we just started jamming. It was back, I think it was right before Justin joined. We were a three-piece band. It was me, Brandon, who's the drummer currently, and then a guitarist named Ben, who we all kind of were figuring it out. And me and Ben went to a bar one night, and we just wrote down every name we could think of. And I've always kind of liked like old school books, like not Sherlock Holmes, but who does like the Telltale Heart? I can't think of his name right now. But the author who does Telltale Heart, like I kind of like that aspect he has and like that kind of like vibe. And like Phoenix and the Raven was like one of the names that we had, but they weren't together. But I circled them on this newspaper or this paper towel rather. And I was like, what about that? Doesn't that sound cool? And Ben at the time was like, that sounds actually pretty cool. It became one of like the final three that we picked, and it just was the one that we landed on. But it was like, it just kind of felt the vibe of the music we were making at the time. We only had 2 songs written, and it was Shadows and Wayward were the only 2 that we were kind of like, just coming to form. And between the 2 of them, like those kind of have that vibe to it a little bit. So that's sort of how we picked the name.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's been cool so far. It's actually been a lot of fun because we've been playing with the name a little bit here and there. Brandon, our drummer, made a merch piece called Burb and Burb, and it's been like a hit merch piece with it, and it's like our thing now in the band, like my Burb and Christ and all this stuff. We just make so many like memes and jokes with it. So it's worked for us. I'm glad we chose that name.
So tell me how you guys got into music.
For me, it was my dad listened to a lot of like rock and roll when I was growing up, like Led Zeppelin, Metallica, a little bit of just like kind of everything, and that's kind of why I have such an eclectic taste. But I always really enjoyed music because of the way it makes you feel.
Right.
I mean, at the end of the day, who doesn't like to feel good or feel like they connect with somebody in a different emotional type of level? So for me, it's always just been I want to be able to create music where I can make that connection with people.
Mm.
And when you start playing the song out and people start singing the song back to you, it gives you that energy. It's like, okay, this is why we're doing this, because we're doing this to have that connection with the audience and overall just make great music that people can feel.
Or maybe you want to dance around like an idiot.
Exactly. People do.
So how about you?
So I started with music. My parents were all over the board with their music, and it kind of rubbed onto me a little bit. Like my dad was a big Deadhead, so growing up I had that, but my mom was a real rocker. Like Jethro Tull, the band, like real classic rock style. Like Dire Straits was one of her favorite bands too. So between that and then my brother was like this like we both were kind of like I don't want to say emo kids, but we were like real sad boys when we were younger. So like Linkin Park, Slipknot, like all those bands, and he would show me like he would go to the record store or at FYE at the time and like grab like a newest CD. He's like, dude, you got to listen to this. You got to listen to this. And the first time I heard Slipknot, I lost my mind and like connected immediately and just like kind of connected to it. And since then, I've just been like chasing that initial like feeling that like I had the first time I heard um, I think it was "Disaster Piece" was the first song I ever heard by Slipknot, and I just was like, "What the fuck is this?" And since then, like you know what I mean. So since then, it's just been me like chasing that like feeling and trying to kind of what Justin said, like give it back and like try to be what I was looking up to as like do it and get it out to people and see if maybe I that's something I connect with it, so maybe someone else will.
So you guys touring?
Sorta. We did I would say like a weekend warrior tour. We're going with this band out of my head. They're based around Albany as well. We've been going all around. We went deep into New England this summer. We went to Connecticut. We went out to Revere, which is right above Boston, and then we're heading down to New York City in September. So we're kind of just hitting the East Coast slowly but gradually, trying to get our feet underneath us while also recording at the same time. So once we get all that out of the way, we're gonna probably hit the ground a little bit more. Um, but that's a 2025 looking forward kind of view. So
Right.
we are definitely active in playing. We've played. We're gonna be probably hit around 14, 15 shows this year. Which I mean, when we started off, we were only playing like 4 or 5 shows. So we're slowly growing into the point of where we're doing it more often and being more active and not just our own scene, which Albany has a great scene, but like, or the surrounding neighborhoods that we have around us.
Well, that's awesome.
Um, oh yeah,
So you guys making some more music?
Oh yeah.
absolutely. Go ahead, Justin.
We're currently working on an EP, and we're hoping to get that out sooner rather than later. And we've already got ideas flowing for an entire, like, what would you call it, a concept album?
I 100% would call it a concept album.
So we're coming up with the whole concept album, and just from seeing the little notes and little ideas we've been sharing back and forth, it looks really like it's going to shape up to be something really cool and something really good to listen to.
It's some of the best stuff. Like even just as EP, it's some of the best stuff we've ever written. But like because we're in the middle of recording this EP, but we're kind of getting a jump on the next round, and like we started writing a song for the concept album last night, and it was you could tell there's like a whole like different vibe about it, and it's at least for me, I'm more excited than I've ever been about writing music with these guys.
Absolutely.
So when did you guys meet?
We've been friends since we were all kids, really. We all went to kind of the same school.
Mm-hmm.
Justin was what, a grade or two above me,
Yeah, I think so. Same grade
and
as Brandon.
you know, and so we've all kind of. Chatham's not a big town, so you know everyone, and that you at least know them like as acquaintance. So it's like we all kind of drifted together, and once we all got into music, it just made us stronger friends.
Yeah, and we all knew that we all played different instruments because I originally started on guitar, and then
So did I.
and now I have since upgraded to a much bigger guitar because I play a 6-string, and it's just kind of funny because I never had a lesson a day in my life on how to play bass, and I just applied everything I knew about guitar to the bass, So it was kind of cool that we could kind of be like, oh, you're a bass player, but we really need a guitar player, and you can swap back and forth. Because I was in a band previously called Chemically Altered, where I played initially rhythm guitar, and that's where I picked up the bass, and then fell in love with bass.
So you never had a lesson?
Nope, I am entirely self-taught.
Oh, that's awesome. How about you?
So I also play guitar. I play guitar. So the Phoenix and Ribbon kind of was born, I guess, out of the ashes of a death metal band. Would you call How Was I Heart?
I would say it's probably death metal, yeah.
So a lot of the members, either were very close friends to the people, or were at one point or another were in a band called How Was I Heart, which was a very more extreme metal band. And like I said, at one point or another, like we all had a hand in it, whether as a fan or as a member of the band. And I played guitar in How Was I Heart for a minute, and I absolutely hated it. I'm not gonna lie to you, I couldn't stand playing guitar at all. But I always wanted to be a vocalist, and I always wanted to be a singer, and just kind of naturally transitioned into it. And once the Phoenix and the Raven started, that's what I kind of found myself doing.
So now you screaming in the mic.
Scream, sing, laugh, giggle. It's just all the noises, and I'm like, oh.
Do you have a song where you laugh in it?
Yes. It's The Raven is the only song I do. I don't know if it's on the recording, but on stage I do it every time.
I think it is.
Is it on the recording?
I think so.
I just think it's cool. I don't know. Like it was a one song, and I can't remember what it was. As a kid, I just remember this like haunting like metal song, and like halfway through the song, he just like does like this creepy ass laugh, and I've always been hung up on it my whole life. Like since I heard that song, and I was like, I gotta do that. Like that's so dope.
That's hilarious.
So that's where I think where we're at. I think honestly, I think Justin's one of the best bass players I've heard. And we play with a bunch of bands, and I just I love watching him play because I can see like how much he loves it on his face, and I think what we're doing, like all of us in the band, like our guitarist when he plays guitar brings such a smile on my face, and our drummer the same thing. Like we all kind of like love what we do,
Mm-hmm.
Like no one like I don't see anyone like wanting to switch positions, and it's just like everyone's just so locked in and loving the instrument that they play.
Yeah, we're all
awesome.
in on our crafts. Like Gary's just an insane guitar player. Brandon's a drumming machine. I just, of course, typical musician, don't see myself like, of course, Ben sees me. But I like to thump around on the bass, have fun, do little odd, different stuff with the bass. But at the end of the day, I'm just happy to be there having fun with three of my best friends, just sharing the moment and getting the crowd hyped up.
So when's your next show?
Our next show is in New York City on September 21st at the Meadows, which is actually kind of wild. So we were like going back to that tour question you asked. We are, like I said, we're doing this like mini tour with Out of My Head, and we were trying to get all the way down to New Jersey, and just with the way things happened, we didn't quite make it there. But the last show on the stop before we went back to Albany was New York City, and we actually lost this show, and I didn't think we were actually going to end up playing it because the venue we were going to be playing at, they had a problem or something like that. So they squeezed us into this bigger venue called the Meadows, and we decided to turn it into a masquerade party. So I'm head over heels for it right now. Like we're going like kind of all in on it and making it a big like party and like having a good time. Like we were kind of gifted this venue, and it's just like such a blessing for us. So like we're kind of going crazy, like planning out how we're gonna decorate it, and like how like like everyone's gonna have the masquerade mask and stuff like that. So I'm super excited for this next show. I'm happy you asked. It's like Justin knows I haven't shut up about it in about a week and a half. So
That's all he talks about.
it really is.
Are you guys gonna dress up?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, we kind of sort of have to, So
It's
kind of walked ourselves into it,
But I'll definitely be. I won't be able to wear my glasses and I'll be a little blind, but I'm just here for the vibes. So
We're gonna have to take pictures. I like to see y'all dressed up as the masquerade.
Oh, absolutely. I think we're actually going to have a videographer for this one, which would be super cool. It's the first time we've, uh, well, one of the first times we've had someone videotape like our whole like kind of set, which would be dope.
yeah, absolutely.
And doing it in the city is going to be even crazy too, because like we live in upstate New York, so like as a kid, you like look at like, okay, like if I make it in New York City, like that means I'm doing something right. You know, it's like the big city, like, you know, so you have that, it has like this aura around it, and like this could be like 10 people could show up to the show, and I'd still be like, you know, a pig in shit, like smiling, like.
Hey, it's where concrete dreams are made of, dude.
And Alicia Keys, my girl.
Ah. So you guys have any merch?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
But yeah, we got quite a few.
So we have that Burb shirt we were talking about, and then we have like a logo tee, just a monochrome logo with our with the Phoenix and the Raven that we have as like our banner and everything like that. Some hats. What else? I feel like I'm forgetting some stuff.
We have stickers and stuff.
Stickers. We have a couple new merch items that are about to drop in the next couple weeks. They're at the presses right now, so that'll be fun once they get released. Brandon, our drummer, is pretty big on the merch right now. We actually all had a very colorful discussion about it this morning.
He's a big.
We're all kind of we have more merch coming out. We're gonna eventually have about 6 different variants of shirts when it's all said and done. But right now we have technically 3 different designs that are going to be released once they get picked up from the presses, which should be, like I said, about next week. So that'll be cool, and look out for that once they hit.
That's awesome.
Hell yeah.
So where can everybody find your stuff?
Spotify. You can find us on iTunes. I think we're on Amazon Music.
Amazon Music. We're YouTube Music, Apple Music, all the musics really. We're on SoundCloud too. Believe it or not.
SoundCloud.
A lot of people are on SoundCloud and Bandcamp.
So Bandcamp, I didn't realize how big of a thing it was. I just kind of started getting us on there, and I there's so many people, like so many different.
Oh, I know, it's crazy.
And there's so like I've reached out to a band that's kind of local to us, but like in a next city over type deal, and they were so nice, and like everyone I've met through Bandcamp, and like all the fans and the interactions I had on there has been really nice. So it's definitely something that I didn't realize was a tool that we could use.
All right. Would you, out of curiosity, would you ever be interested in coming to Ohio? Sometime, maybe?
Absolutely.
So
for shows.
It's funny. So you're not the first person to ask me that this week. So oddly
Ohio?
enough, someone asked me, was like, well, you guys are doing shows and stuff like that, and I'm like, yeah, we go wherever people would want to see us, obviously, and like, we're obviously we're starting small or something like that, and I forget why they even said this, but they're like, would you go to Ohio and play? And I'm like, fuck yeah, why not? Like,
I don't know how to take that. I don't know if they're meaning that by why would you want to go there?
No, I don't.
Or
that was just the first name that popped in their head. I think they meant.
I'm not gonna lie. Ohio is the heart of like music, and that's why they put the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame up in Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
The music scene around here is intense. It's like that's why I like being here, because I can get people a lot of shows.
Mm-hmm.
I can go to venues and pretty much get any band that I want here. So like it's crazy. It's it's either Blossom, Dusty Armadillo, or I know the Vortex is now upcoming in Akron. They're getting some bigger artists in there as well. So I mean, I'm pretty much within 45 minutes of anything.
Hell yeah. Justin, looks like we're taking a road trip, dude.
I'm always down, dude.
Well, is there anything else you want to tell your fans?
We appreciate all the support and everything, and it's been such a pleasure making music and having everyone support us. Like, it's I don't think we thought that this was gonna be as big and as like fulfilling as it has been so far. At least
Absolutely.
I didn't. You know what I mean? And we, now we're playing bigger shows and national touring bands and some bands that we grew up listening to. We won an award last year for best progressive metal band in the 518 Capital District area, and
And let
it's
me
just
guess.
been.
That was the picture that was in the intro.
Yep.
Yep.
Uh, I went through your page and I was trying to find a good picture of you guys.
And
Yeah.
that was something that took us by surprise too. Like, I didn't. Justin, did you think we were gonna win? Because I had no idea.
I was hopeful, but I was like, there's no way that we're gonna like beat all these other very amazing bands in the area. And then all of a sudden they were just like the Phoenix and the Raven. I was like, and I have a video somewhere where you hear me go, "Holy shit!" That I was walking by like the girlfriends of the band, and I was like, "Hi, ladies, please hold my jacket," because it was like January, so it was really cold out. So I just dropped my jacket right at their feet, and I was like, "Please watch this. I promise I'll be back."
That's funny.
No, but we
But it's
couldn't have
cool.
done that without
It's cool
our
you got an
fans.
award though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very
that
humble.
was sick.
It was nice to
but
feel like we were finally like, I'd never won an award for anything really. And then to be up there with like three of my best friends, like I was saying earlier, to accept an award for that was just so humbling and just made me so like ecstatic. I barely slept that night.
it was wild. I never in my like I said, we were going to the venue where they had the award ceremony, and in no part of my brain did I think that we were gonna win. I was like, oh, we're too small of a band. We like all this stuff, like all the doubt, like and stuff like that. I don't usually
Oh.
self-doubt, but like that during that, I was like, no. There's so many because we were in the category with a lot of our friends who were like in other bands. Like,
Mhm.
we know all these guys and we know like how good they are. And I'm like, no, they, these guys put out an album. These guys are playing with them. Like, they deserve it. Like, and it just blew my mind. I was like, what the hell's going on here? So, but again, we couldn't have done that without the support of all the fans and everyone.
All right.
who,
Well, thank you for joining. Uh-oh.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having us. It's been an absolute pleasure.
All right. We'll definitely have to do this again.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
We'll
You
have to do
just
yeah. It will do.
All right,
Well, thank
bye.
you guys.
Absolutely. You're welcome. Have a great day or night, rather.